Hello there ladies and gentlemen and welcome to Peace Without Victory, a modification for Darkest Hour exploring the interwar period between, after the First World War and before the Second World War. So we have quite a few scenarios over here. I have been testing this out. There's a lot of saves here due to the fact the autosave doesn't seem to be working. But I thought it would be very interesting to play as the Weimar Republic and see the treatment of Germany during this year. Well, these years, and the rise of extremism in the political spectrum. So we are going to play the Weimar Republic. If there is a quest for me to play another nation, then I'd be happy about that one. The Russian Civil War is ongoing. It's coming to a close very soon, however. Maybe a year or two left. Probably shorter due to the AI. But let's take a look at the world in 1920. So, the Ottoman Empire is no more, Turkey has been established, the British, Greek and French forces occupy parts of Turkey as part of the Treaty of Versailles. Actually, I do not believe this was part of Versailles, I can't remember the name of the treaty, but it was another one, I believe. The Russian Civil War is ongoing. We have the, we have the Bolsheviks in power. We have the Russian Whites over here, the White Guard. The forces of Ukraine, Poland, Finland are in this fight. I believe the Baltic states are involved as well. Are they? Yes, they are. And then we have the Republic over here, the Far Eastern People's Republic. And of course the White Guard. So that's very interesting. So Germany, well, the Weimar Republic in this time, we are in incredible trouble due to the immense amount of debt we have to repay. I think it was in the order of about 138 billion marks, somewhere around that area. Right, so we do start off with some dissent, so we're going to disable these, and we're going to work on this dissent. If we can get rid of it, we'll be good to go. Now then, I want to set up some production queues for when we can afford the IC. So we're going to have the usual of artillery. Now we have very cheap infantry of this technology, so I'm going to take advantage of that actually, and just build these. I could have them automatically upgrade, but honestly, if I can get the numbers out there, then that will be of great use. So I could give them some cavalry. That doesn't increase the IC cost by much, but it does increase the manpower cost quite a lot. Light armor, not that much of a cost, and it could be very useful in the future once we have the upgrades. Right, an armored car. The armored car gives more soft attack, but with a light armored brigade we'd have some hard attack. We'll go for this then. I imagine in the future once we have better technology it will be of greater value. Right, put this down to about 5. We'll set up another one. There we go. Now we will not have much manpower or IC during this period, so it's going to be quite difficult. But the Weimar Republic will rise once more. So we can establish a professional military here. I imagine this is due to the fact that our military has been mostly abolished. Right, establish a professional military is your first step in creating an army. A professional military or standing army is composed of full-time career soldiers who do not disband during times of peace. They differ from armed reserves who are activated only during such times of war or natural disasters. Standing armies tend to be better equipped, better trained, and better prepared for emergencies. Defensive deterrence and particularly wars. This is what happens when I try to read, and then it doesn't quite work. I have to read it first before I speak, otherwise I'm going to end up making issues. Right, so we'll have our professional military here. Okay. Haha, wow. Yes, I very much need this. So that did lower dissent a little bit as well, which is quite nice to have. Excuse me. So we are going to invest in education, public health, security. There we go. Taxes will be set to... I am going to need cash, so I'm going to have high taxes during this time period, but our reforms will be health reforms. Now this increases our manpower growth, reduces the amount of money, but it decreases dissent by a little bit. So that's going to be quite useful to have. Okay. So we're going to lower dissent by about 0.3, not much. Right, our research. We need to prepare for our future glory. And by glory, I mean hopefully taking over Europe without failure. Okay. So for the tanks, we already have some tank research over here, so I'm going to get these armoured cars. Who knows, armoured cars might be more useful in the future, well, for the time being, but I think the light armour, well, it's going to be there for a long time, and of course, in the future we'll have much better armour, and it can be upgraded. 1922 agriculture. A cipher machine would be quite nice. There we go. Now, air power would be quite advantageous to maintain in this period. Especially with the tactical bombers, due to the fact that we can project, well, attacks outwards. So we are going to go for carriers. That is what I'd like to do. Well, let's see. Battle cruisers are, of course, faster, but they have less attack. And less, well, armor, really. So I think we're going to go for battleships. We're going to try and rebuild the Kriegsmarine. Okay. Now with the songs playing, I'm absolutely certain I'm not going to be able to monetize this. So we are going to play whatever songs that is in the track list. So, well, we have a communist song playing in the background. That's rather interesting. Okay. Right then, so the Austrian Republic. There is an event if you play as the Austrians. There are events to reunite the Austrian Empire, but it's very difficult. Very difficult. Okay. Are we ready to go? I think we are. Enable auto-spying. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So the Spirit of Revolution, 1819. The Revolution of 1918-1919 is one of the most important events in later history of Germany. It really honestly is. It's hardly reported, and I really don't know much about it. But the communists held power in Berlin for quite a time. It is poorly embedded in the historical memory of Germans. The failure of the Weimar Republic, which this revolution brought it to being, and the following Nazi era, have been obstructed the view of these events for a long time. To this very day, the interpretation of these events have been determined more by the legends than by facts. From 1920 to 23, nationalist forces continued fighting against the Weimar Republic and left-wing political opponents. In 1920, the government was briefly overthrown by a coup by the Wolfgang Kapp. In the Kapusch, a nationalistic movement, a nationalist government was briefly in power, until mass public demonstrations forced the short-lived regime out of power. Basically, the workers revolted, and you can't do anything if nothing happens. If people do not work, you can't. That's it. The state ceased to exist. Well, it ceased to be a state in regards to production. Okay, screw you, Italy. Okay, so we have an army of 5 divisions. One of those divisions being a HQ division. Flensburg. I believe this is where Reich President Karl Donitz held out during the latter days of World War II. That's really interesting. I've been meaning to read his memoirs. Basically, he tried to engineer a conflict between the Allies and the Soviets. Yeah, he really tried. There was a division commanded by General Montgomery, actually. Not directly, but basically they were to race from the Rhine into Denmark to try and beat the Soviets to Denmark in order to avoid Denmark being a political puppet for the Soviets and giving them access through the Baltic. There's a hell of a lot of history here. And I probably got quite a few things wrong here, so I do apologise. But hey, if you're interested in that sort of history, then look it up. Prove me wrong. Tell me what I said wrong. And, yes. Learn. That's all I can say to people. Okay, I'll stop sounding so preachy. Right. Okay. And here we go, the first indignation imposed on us by the French. Okay. So, the French have occupied the Ruhr. Let's see. Protest the occupation of the Ruhr. Let me warm up. I'm always terrible when I start. Basically, as part of the reparations owed under the Treaty of Versailles, well, the French marched into the Ruhr and occupied it, and basically extracted wealth from the area, took the industrial goods and etc., due to the fact that they believed that Germany was willfully withholding payment. This happens multiple times. We even see the Rhinish Republic established later on, for a brief period. But I thought it would be very interesting to play through this mod just to see a sort of overview of history and to sort of understand the rise of extremism. Right. Now the mod wording is like kind of weird in some of the events. Adolf Hitler declared May 25... What? Right, these points were... Right, okay, basically. Hitler talks about his 25 points. These points were the first step for the reformation of the German Workers' Party as a nationalist party. New Chancellor, Hermann Müller. Okay. Massive strike. Not good. So dissent is something we're really going to have to manage. There's not going to be many a times where we will be able to produce anything. The cap push. The cap push, or more accurately, the cap... yeah, okay. I'm not going to say that one. It was a 1920 coup attempt to... during the German Revolution aimed at overthrowing the Weimar Republic. Based on opposition to the Treaty of Versailles, imposed at the end of World War I, the push was later relabeled as a right-wing monarchist and reactionary movement. There were two main reasons why the Weimar Republic survived in 1920. Firstly, most of the leading Free Corps commanders refused to join the push, perhaps with the view that it was premature. The cabinet issued a proclamation calling on German workers to defeat the push by means of a general strike. The strike received massive support. This struggle claimed numerous victims among workers all over the country. With the country paralysed and with the leading generals of the army, with the exception of Ludendorff, having at the same time informed Witz that his position and actions were entirely irregular, that he must resign in the interest of the country. The push collapsed. Kapp and Witz, unable to govern, fled to Sweden. Yep, that's a huge increase in the dissent there. So we have some calls here. We do have calls on Austria, which is pretty interesting. Even Trento and Bolzano, Bern and Zurich. These lands over here. And of course Poland. I will take Gdynia, as I do want to reunite the nation. So it is going to be a fairly long series. I'm not entirely sure how much time I have to record today, but I'll try and get some done here and build up a buffer. Right, credits flowing. Lovely. 1921 artillery. People protest against reparations. Today happened another protest, basically another protest happened today. Near the Reichstag building. Thousands of people protest against the weakness of the government. Yeah. Okay, so Belgium has broke off their alliance. Georgia has been annexed. A jazz festival. The culture of jazz was very prevalent in Weimar Germany. The organisation of such festivals allowed distraction for the public. Okay, cipher machines. Now, if we can increase our intelligence network efficiency and that sort of thing, we're not going to be subject to the bloody whims of foreign powers' intelligence networks. Most because they're going to try and fuck with us. They're going to try and increase dissent. We are managing to keep the economy afloat at the moment, even with the loss of the Ruhr. Though it will be quite challenging in the future. So Poland has put up a fight here. The White Guard is all but defeated. Yep, all but defeated. New Chancellor. Go Poland, go! 1920 federal elections. The SDP, in spite of being the largest party, lost many seats. Okay, how many troops does Poland have? They have 35 divisions, so not a tiny amount, but yes, probably nowhere near enough to challenge the Bolsheviks. They have, yeah, 147 divisions. Good luck with that one, mate. That would be a very, very difficult campaign. I don't think it would be possible to win against the Bolsheviks. I should know that technology is a little bit ahead of of current trends. It's difficult because I really want to research stuff like this because I'm used to it being a much later year. 1923, counter machine 1928, 22 for agriculture. I might go for agriculture, yes, it's 2 years ahead, but it's a very nice technology, and it will make things a lot easier on me. Okay, working on bringing down that descent. Only 0.01. Right, I'm going to cancel this production run here. There we go. So if I can spend about 7 IC and continue to increase the size of the military, that should work out quite nicely. Of course, I could be building up industry, which might be a wiser idea. But the amount of industry that we could build is fairly limited. I'll check how much it costs to build industrial capacity, but we'll see. Right, Versailles Treaty ended World War One. The treaty was signed on the 28th of June 1919, in effect on the 10th of January 1920. The treaty forced Germany to disarm, make substantial territorial concessions, and pay reparations to certain countries that had formed the Entente powers. In 1921, the total cost of these reparations was assessed at about 132 billion marks. Right, so it was 132. Conditions of the treaty were completely nullified by Adolf Hitler. Alright. So we can actually see the lands we have lost, which is quite nice. I do like the detail. So we have lost the colonies over here, but we still have claims, which is very nice. At least we know where to go for. Right, our policy can be changed. Let's see. Central planning would decrease the cost of upgrades and the time. Well, free market. What does a free market do for us? Gearing bonus decreases, but the upgrade cost and time decreases. The tech team salary increases. This way, Right, so upgrades and time decrease this way, but gearing bonus increases this way. So this is more production control. But we also gain, oh right, production time decreases as well as cost. Tech team salary increases, but we gain more from consumer goods. Okay, and we can actually move this one. Oh, well. Close society. Right. We might as well stay over here. Interventionism would be quite nice. Actually. We'll move towards a more interventionism foreign policy. I can keep the Dove Party because I believe it gives me more money from consumer goods. Right, the war is over. Poland has survived for the time being. Mongolia is on the chopping block now. The Second Silesian Uprising. The violence eventually led on... this is really difficult to read. On the 19th of August, to a Polish uprising which quickly took control of the government office in the districts of Katowice. Between August 20th and 25th, the rebellion spread to the Allied Commissioners declared its intention. The Allied Commission declared its intention to restore order, but internal differences kept anything from being done. British representatives held the French responsible for the easy spread of the uprisings. Okay, so... Right, these are no longer considered ours. Yes, that's difficult to deal with. So we're going to head over to Woldenberg. As you can see here, the descent is rather high. The Weimar will retain order. Okay. Anti-partisan duty. Should reduce it in time. It is connected to all three here, so it should be good. 2%. Oktoberfest. Okay. Anti-air is something I want to keep up to date as well. So, how good is an armoured car? About now. Okay, so it has the planes in here too. Is this the armoured car? Yes, this is the armoured car. 2 soft attack. And this is our light tank. But I think given the infantry light armor will work out in the end. Right, let's change this plate track. Europa Entente World War II allies. Central Powers Axis. I like options like that, it's pretty nice to have. Right, research is progressing. Bankruptcy. Not very nice. Come on. Yes, he's not shifting. If I can get one of these completed, then I can try and work on that gearing bonus. And then that will be quicker. And, yeah, just in general better for us. Okay. Take a look at Navy. 6 skill here, 7 here. The contract will go to Bulma. Right. Light carriers. There we go. We'll work on the carriers. Right. So we have the interwar battleship. The Bayern class is now obsolete. Kaiser class. And these are transports. We have a flotilla destroyers. Right, the foundation of KPD. Interesting. Okay, what is our government? We're a social democratic government for the time being. Social liberal, social conservative, market liberal. Right, review the index. Okay, we need to work on the dissent. Taxes will be minimum. Reforms will be health reforms. There we go. Though we are going to struggle with cash. What is our air force? Tactical bombers. Transports. There we go, we finished our first division. We'll man the border. Okay, we now have a gearing bonus. Lovely. Need to keep this up. Sure, it's going to make removing the descent difficult, but I need an army. If we can create a army, it's going to... Well, if we can create a larger army, it's going to help a lot. And who knows what we could get ourselves into. Oh good, we have another tech team. I always find it really interesting to listen to like period music from different countries. Right. Light cruisers. Okay. Aircraft. Interceptors. Classes between the nationalists and the communists. Lovely. Yes, we'll work on a carrier. Right. So we're looking at January 11th, 1922 for our next division. So the divisions at the moment have 44 tanks, which isn't many, but they should make a big difference. Ideally, I want the mobile research, so what we might do is invest in cavalry. And perhaps, once we have the technology, a large motorized army. The Third Silesian Uprising. Okay. Results of the referendum. Right. 12 days after the outbreak of the insurrection, Coventry offered to take his troops behind a line of demarcation, conditional upon the release of territory. Ah, right, so not being reoccupied by German forces, but by Allied forces. In August, under pressure from Britain and France, organised a referendum on the ownership of Upper Silesia. Interesting. Great, a lot more dissent, however. Silesia remained part of Germany. If you want to read here, there you go. I'll just pause one moment. So if you want to pause here and read, there you go. Moving on. Good. Great, the 1921 Weimar economical crash. In 1921, in the summer of 1921, the United Kingdom and France demanded from the Weimar government to pay... it's English. So, oh god. Great. Right, we're gonna have to put that on hold. And put everything into this descent. Which is a shame, I lose my gear and bonus now. At least we have the Ruhr back. I didn't see when this happened, but we have it. That helps. Right, reorganization of the Reichswehr. Was a self-defense force of the Weimar Republic. Founded in 1919 by the Versailles Treaty. Had a size of 115,000 men. In 1935 was dissolved and recreated as a Wehrmacht. Right. Okay. Ah. Lovely. The Berlin district. Right, we have infantry. We have cavalry and infantry. I'll take the cavalry. Move them to Frankfurt. Actually, we'll move them to Hamburg. It's a nice central position. How are we doing on revolt risk? Right, they're still not considered part of our territory. We'll claim the area. Right. Anti-partisan duty. We'll just have these guys on anti-partisan duty for the moment then. There we go. God damn it, Belgium. Hitler. New leader of the NSDAP. Oh god. This wording needs work. Right, the Treaty of Infamy. Okay. Dun 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 dun. Right then guys, we are approaching the end of the episode, so thank you so very much for watching so far. I hope you're enjoying this, and I hope you enjoyed the concept of this series. And if you do, please go ahead and show your support for it by letting me know in the comments, and if you want to go that extra mile, you can back me on Patreon, and allow me to continue to do this. So yes, until next time, have a fantastic day, and goodbye for now.